Welcome to your viewers to Couch Warrior TV on YouTube. I am the Couch Warrior, and this is a Couch Warrior TV channel update. Normally, I don't do updates more than about once a month. That's been the routine recently anyway. But some things have come up. There are going to be some changes in the channel that I need to let you know about because they are going to be effective immediately. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting back on the amount of content I produce. And there are a number of reasons for that. The primary reason is that we've kind of gotten to the point here where there's been enough decline in YouTube royalties and enough decline in Patreon support that I can't really treat this channel as if it were a larger project, as I have in the past. In other words, I really need to bring the channel, dial the channel back to hobby status, which was what this channel was when I started it over 5 years ago. It was really just a hobby. Over time, it's grown. I've tried new things. I've tried a lot of different stuff. But over the last year, I've lost approximately 80% of my YouTube royalty revenue and probably another 20% reduction in Patreon support. Altogether, what it's really amounted to is the channel does not pay for itself. And so what I need to do is really just take a look at what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do here is kind of align the time and the effort that I put into the channel with the rest of my life. And the situation I have right now is I've got a career which is extremely demanding right now. There's a lot of pressure going on. I've also got a part-time job, and I also do freelance work. And on top of all that, the channel and all the activities that go along with it, all the promotions, all the series that I've been doing, all the experiments I've been trying, the live streams, stuff like that. So given the fact that the channel is not really doing as well financially as it was in the past, I have to also adjust the amount of time I devote to it to be commensurate with the amount that it is yielding in terms of benefit for me, especially with all the things going on in my professional and personal life. There's just, a lot of stuff going on right now that I have to deal with. And in order to focus on that stuff, what I'm going to do is dial the channel back to basically what I would consider to be hobby status, which is going to mean that I am going to limit the amount of time that I spend working on channel-related material each week and cut it back significantly from what I've been doing. Now, what does that mean in practical terms? Well, it's not all bad. The channel's not going away. I'm still going to produce content, but I'm going to be changing the content that I'm producing a little bit. So first and foremost, the initiatives that I was working on related to Divinity 2 Original Sin and the companion project where I was going to try to run some stuff for the Patreon community, I'm basically packing that one in. I'm not going to do that. So that is going away. In addition to that, I am going to cut back significantly on the marketing and promotion and stuff like that I do for the various things that I'm doing. I'm going to also cut back the activity or time that I spend on outlets such as Discord. I will still be there. I will still have a presence, but I'm going to place a limit on the amount of time that I spend doing that in a given week. Now, as I look at it, the other stuff that I really need to cut back on are just like extra videos and writing, things of that nature, things that take up extra time but don't really contribute to the channel in a real significant way. So what it's going to mean is I'm going to be cutting back on community-related stuff that I've been doing, essentially. So as I said, Divinity Original Sin 2, that whole project is going away. I will probably cut back the amount of time I spend writing and making short video clips and so forth for Unbound. I will not be doing Monday night live streams anymore. I'm cutting back that. So you may be asking, what is it you're keeping, Couch Warrior? Well, I'll tell you what I'm keeping is I'm going to be keeping the entire twist storyline, the continuation, of Barbarian and that whole thing that I'm working on, we're going to continue to see videos there. I'm going to continue my story because that's what I consider to be truly the hobby part of this, the part that scratches the creative itch. So I'm going to keep doing that. We're also going to keep doing a podcast. So Character Crusade is going to continue. The Unbound project is going to continue. The way that I promote and interact with those projects will change over time. And that's basically what it amounts to. So I'm probably going to refrain from launching any new experiments anytime soon and just stick to making episodes of my story. Now, as a result of the change, I'm also going to be cutting back the frequency with which I produce the story. So I think the days of having, 10-episode weekends and stuff like that, those days are gone. I'm going to just kind of try to settle into a regular cadence. I've got certain nights of the week that I have set aside for producing video and other nights of the week that are set aside for freelance work and extra, the side job and all those other, obligations that I have. So it'll take me a little while to figure out how that shakes out. But in the meantime, I've still got episode of the day. I'm going to be launching an episode of Twist every single day as I have been until we run to the end of my reserve. And then we'll probably see some gaps in between episodes as I kind of figure out what that regular cadence is. I have a feeling that over time it's going to be pretty difficult for me to maintain enough of a backlog to keep releasing one video a day to the public. So it'll take us a while to get there, though, because I have quite a backlog right now. I think we're up into the 80s right now in terms of episode, and I have created episodes up to 114. So, we've got, 3 or 4 weeks here where we'll still be doing an episode of the day every single day. And then after that, I'm not really sure. It just depends on how the cadence goes and how many episodes I could produce in a given week with the time that I have. So, it's good news and bad news. I think, the bad news is I'm having to cut back. The good news is I'm keeping the stories that I'm really passionate about. I don't expect that we are going to see any fleet anytime soon. In this situation, those videos are just too long and complex to produce, and with reducing my overall time spent working on these projects to kind of hobby status, I'm not going to have time to put a lot of effort into fleet, the kind of effort that's required in order to produce those episodes. Some have also been asking about, when is the next episode of Fleet coming out? Well, honestly, I'm happy to put that one on the shelf for the moment. That just, I thought I could bring it back and I couldn't. I tried, but it just isn't fun. The videos that I'm producing now in the format that I'm producing them is way more fun for me to produce and way more rewarding for me to do personally than Fleet. As much as everybody loves Fleet and all that stuff, for me, his story was just kind of a drag given what it is I like to produce, which is, the more character-driven, voiced characters where there's a sprinkling of humor and lightheartedness. I kind of like that. And as much as I love characters like Fleet, his story was heavy and dark and ponderous. And after a while, it just became a drag to produce and just wasn't fun anymore. So just to recap, the channel is going back to hobby status, which means I'm going to be spending far less time on it each week than I used to. What that means is I will be cutting back content. All right. So Divinity Original Sin 2 is going to go by the wayside. I'm going to spend a lot less time doing promotions around Patreon and stuff like that. But I am going to continue to do Twist and all the related stories from the Lorcon universe. We can see those come out. That is where I'm going to put my time and attention and just try to make the best videos that I can. I still will be doing the podcast with Joe and Matt every other week, and I still will be participating in the community. I'll just be regulating how much time I spend doing that and when I actually do it. And that is the plan going forward for now. Again, this is just an adjustment to bring the time that I spend in alignment with what the channel gives back. And given all the changes in YouTube policies and given, I think, what is a waning interest in Skyrim in the community in general and the dialing back of Patreon support, the channel just really is not going to be able to sustain itself if I continue to kind of go down that road, just pouring tons of effort in and not getting return back for it. So that is the decision I have made for now. You can expect to see some episodes of Twist coming out next week as we get more into Idastog's story in the Barbarian series. Again, I apologize if this is a disappointment to anyone, but it is absolutely necessary. There's nothing I can really do about it right now. I've got to reorder some stuff because I just have so much shit going on right now. And there are things in my personal and professional life that need my attention. And that is not going to happen if I'm spending time working on the channel at such a scale that I don't have time for anything else. And that just seems a difficult thing to do under the circumstances, and probably a foolish thing to do if the channel is not giving me back what I need it to in order to sustain itself. So that is it for now. So we've got a podcast coming up. You got 3 days until Monday night's podcast. That is March 5th. If you're interested in getting involved in the Unbound project, make a character. Try to level them up to 6. Follow the rules. Check it out. It's on unbound.charactercrusade.com. It's kind of random character generation and role play, and we do a lot of discussion about it. Monday night is going to be our first night of actually talking in depth about our character experiences, getting updates from the guys on how they're doing, and taking listener mail. So that should be a lot of fun. Feel free to join us whether you're playing along or not. It starts at 6 p.m. Central Time, Monday night, March 5th. We will see you there. Thank you, everybody, and good night.